Yeah, that's going. Okay, I can see myself. That's awkward. This for a minute. I guess I'll start by saying I don't have polished, and by polished, I mean, I don't have any slides. I guess to say from your talk, Boston, I got a few things here. So subtext, I'm kind of here to talk about notes a little bit. The quick capture, like always capturing, getting ideas, the shower ideas. That excites me. I call them often my $100 ideas. Like that's where I have like, this is tens or hundreds of dollars, in the shower. But yeah, a couple things. So I'm here to talk about OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Obsidian, or notes, PKM, personal knowledge management. And I guess I was just excited to come to this and talk about something. So these are the things I'm excited about. I've been excited about PKM and notes for a while now, maybe 2.5 years or so. I've been pretty heavy into that. And I think that's been important for my growth and success as a software engineer. Should introduce myself. My name is Eric. I'm a software engineer at Zapier, which, we're a fully remote company. So this is kind of fun, like real people. This is exciting for me. I've been there about 3.5 years, and the company's had tremendous growth. It's been a great growth opportunity for me. I've been able to go through the promotion process there, and teams evolving focuses, internal transfers. Now another recent splitting up for leading the formation of a new team. And these are things that help me with that. So no real structure here other than we'll get around. I guess I want to maybe get a sense of, well, we all just saw it. Is anyone like not familiar with ChatGPT? Or is that a safe assumption? I think so. I'm kind of curious how many people have been using, say, OpenAI before ChatGPT came out. Is that less familiar? Like, there's like OpenAI has like this interface that I was getting to use, and let me share my screen.
Like in GPT-3.
Yeah, just OpenAI Playground.
Yeah.
So I will keep myself muted. Just share everything here.
Giving. We saw that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So let me check my notes here. Yeah, Tom messaged me. Are you gonna be able to do that? It's like, so here's the talk here. If I add slides, which we could have this turn this into slides. Yeah. Anyway, so a few use cases. I've been using it pretty heavily. I didn't quite even realize at that time it came out. I think it was like November 31st or something. My memory's a total blur. I think it was November 31st. It's like, oh, they finally, like, I thought they were coming out with something new. It's like, I'm using it. The next day I see it's like ChatGPT is down. It's like, it's taking the internet by storm. I'm like telling people at work about it. I was like, oh my God, last night. It's like ChatGPT, it's like it's down, and eventually the availability got better with it and stuff. But so I can't claim credit, but I want to a little bit. This is just my excitement. Sam Altman, he posted on Twitter, what's your wish list for ChatGPT? And like I was like, I know it because I've been thinking about it. And what I wished for was this history. It's like I wish I could just give a name to it. Wouldn't lose the history every time. And then they came out with this. So I think they were already building it. Maybe they got the idea from me, maybe not. I saved the tweet. I was like, I had the idea. That was one of my shower ideas.
Was the home sewing business a shower idea? I just want to know.
Oh yeah. That is interesting. Okay, so I'm also here, plugging my wife's sewing Instagram. She's getting into it. So I've been getting into sewing, sewing video. So like, let's just look here. We'll take a quick look at that. Where is the sewing? Oh yeah, it's during this home sewing business. Like, oh, I guess to say an underlying usage, I'll say where I get out of it is, I've been pretty involved in like technical leadership or like leadership and pretty interested in like coaching and part of like peer coaching groups. So actually, I find a lot of value out of this from like coaching myself for like situations, like something that I find really interesting. And let me go into this lightning talk. I kind of brainstormed a couple ideas in here. Prepare for ChatGPT to just go down at any moment here. I am prepared. Oh, here we go. I got it dumped in my notes too. Right here. Okay. So a couple of things like taking ideas, and then I guess I use this a lot for technical writing. And I'll say ChatGPT is really good. Like the output of it is, I would say, a lot higher quality than what I was getting out of like the Playground and stuff. I find using the Playground directly, it's more like a utility. Like I jump in there, like I have something I know I need to do, and we'll just get it done. Like I don't want to chat. I have like something. And a lot of my presets are more like my work account here, but there's some early stuff. This was like, oh, this is pretty good. So this was like a recent project that I led like later last year. And the idea of just having it like generate like a markdown update, like, hey, here is sort of the announcement of the success of the project, and then taking this and elaborating on it. So I find OpenAI, ChatGPT and all of that, I think it's really interesting and novel for filling in skills gaps. Like, I don't know how to write Python. It can help me, apply my TypeScript expertise to Python. But I think where it really shines is I'm really good at something, and I know some specific things to tap into to multiply that. So let's see here. I got a good one. Like I would say it's really good at generating tests. I wrote the best tests that I've written in a while. Like the other day, it was ChatGPT that got me started. I said, hey, here, we're using React testing library, a few code conventions that I want in here. Here's some specifics and outline. Here's some certain behaviors that I want to test. And then just paste in the source code for just that one React component, and the output a beautiful test suite that I was able to like some very minor refactoring. And I was like, oh, that was like actually some really good test coverage for something that I needed to get done. And I got it done really quickly with that, versus maybe not at all. It's like, I could write the test. How often do I? But this is like, oh, reduce the friction. I know the test I need to write. I know how to describe it really well. And I think that's where, maybe like applying a little bit of higher level, like technical leadership. Like if you're good at delegating, I gotta think about like delegating to ChatGPT or OpenAI. Like that's really good. And a skill I've been building a lot at work, and professionally for a couple of years now is more like writing skills, like focus, like strategy and stuff. So, like for example, just tapping into a few things like. I'm leading an upcoming project. I want like a high level project playbook. And again, this is like really shallow. You can give it a lot more context to say, here's some really specific books that are very relevant on my team and the organization. Like for me, Checklist Manifesto, Multipliers, Effective Engineer. And like, here's a checklist that is, here's where that idea came from. And this is where like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with these. Like, Checklist Manifesto. So yeah, I find that really interesting to invoke concepts from books and things, and I'm gonna mix that in. So let's see. I have no idea how we are on time. We're good. Okay, because I can go 5 minutes. I could go. I'll never stop.
We don't have that much time.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Obsidian, and I'll give it a quick overview if people aren't familiar with it or haven't got a close look at it. It is notes. It's all markdown based notes, and that's it on the surface. There's a lot of plugins and things you can do with it. It's a link-based note system. So, like for example, these are links. So this is notes that have proven valuable. This is a note I have. Like this, I actually used to publish my website directly from this. They have a publish plugin that it's really good. Actually, it's like most I was writing. I let it expire. You know, I was a lot more used to what I was trying to like get ready to, job search or something, which I think the OpenAI and all of that is really useful for like good career. But the fact that I'm able to like put this kind of stuff together and like have a trail of notes, like I would say it's fairly career focused. I use it outside of career. But like I guess what I want to show, I'm trying to do an example from the talks here, is like tell me the benefits of end-to-end type safety. And I have OpenAI plugged right into the notes here. So here we go. I have this. I can go ahead, I can edit this, refine it, pull in my notes. Maybe I have some notes. I can actually reverse some of the notes and gather some context. There's a particular plugin that I'm using in Obsidian for this. I also want to talk about the plugin I'm building for Obsidian for this. But that's one example. And like it's kind of this like action plan. Like, oh, WebRTC, I don't know about that. Let's pretend that I'm leading a project that's called Team Connect. It's like I just like made this up. And like I said, that's kind of getting into like I don't know about WebRTC. This is kind of like filling in the gaps. Like I can't really check this myself, but on the stuff I do know, I could check it really well. And it really helps. It's really multiplied memory stuff like where I'm a lot involved with a lot of discussions and things. I guess to say there's an Obsidian AI plugin, and let me actually show. Are you familiar with Excalidraw? Like Excalidraw is a web-based, diagramming, sketching thing. There's a plugin that's really good that it's actually really powerful in Obsidian. So I have Excalidraw right in Obsidian. So I'm able to like sketch all this. Like I can embed notes in this. I could embed this into notes and things. So all that to say, this is just like a free sketching thing here that this Obsidian AI plugin. This is just one example of something I have in here. So I go to like kind of this project-based note. This is like a side project thing, but it's kind of an example of how I use this. There's a particular book, I'll say Building a Second Brain is really a good book. I saw like a lot of hype around, the author and stuff, and I was really deep into PKM and stuff, and I thought, I was like, I don't know, I don't need to read that. And then I bought the book, and it was like, oh my God, he's right. Like all the stuff I've been doing is like, so if you're interested in this, I'll say project-based notes, and that's career or even personal, kind of feed into what are the current projects kind of thing. And there's a lot I could get into there. There's actually a concept, para. If you look that up, like para for notes, like this is it, like project first, resources, areas of responsibility. And I could give an example here, kind of also to show Obsidian. This is really raw. Obsidian, this is a fairly new feature so we have Excalidraw. You can draw in there. It's really useful for like just today. Actually this week twice. Kind of helping there the power diagram, the sequence diagrams in particular come in handy, and that's a skill that I found really impactful, and helping teach that to other people has been really good. This idea of areas from here, like, okay, high level. And again, these are my notes that are embedded within this canvas. So Canvas allows you to sort of create a view into your notes and stuff and remix them. This idea of areas like, okay, health and self, fatherhood, like marriage, career, finances. that leads into a whole bunch of other stuff, like I said, this is just like really surface level. This Canvas thing is really new, so that's kind of a rough look at it. Yeah, I think there was one thing I was getting to that needs to hold up over time for me in a way. So again, this was pretty fueled by OpenAI. It's like, I had this idea, let me brainstorm it with you. And like, especially once I got this like in my notes. But one tactic I'll say, and there's some other tangential things, like there's other tools that are considered like outliners, like Rome Research or LogSec. There's a few like those, where Obsidian is just purely markdown based. Let's see, you can see like this is just without the live preview on, you can see it's just raw markdown. This idea of log, like I said, I don't have slides. If I did, this would be better, maybe. But these concepts that I built for myself and how I organize my chaos, I've been able to apply and introduce to teams, and have been really impactful. Like, there's this idea of like a working doc, which I just like gave that name, and now it's grown into like this whole thing. And one part of that is like this log where, okay, this ties back to my daily notes. Like, I can link to the daily notes, say, okay, today kind of thing, or it's a date. And that's the daily notes. This is like a snapshot or a session, like, okay, one focus session where I started sketching out the idea. Early morning session, I ended up with that sketch I showed earlier. ChatGPT coaching the heck out of me, like what can I focus on? And again, there's a whole bunch of context I give ChatGPT to kind of fuel this. And then I start ending up with like these progress summaries and stuff, and just to show like I'll get it quick. Okay, so I'm kind of zooming into these tickets. I find like that's just my mind is hammered into me. So I introduce this idea of tickets sometimes for my own stuff. And just to show, like, let's see here, if I open up this screenshot, this might give a view of, okay, I use ChatGPT a lot, OpenAI a lot. There are some tools and stuff that do this. This is my vision of how I want to really use this. And again, this is like super MVP, that what changes less frequently, but is like really crucial to leverage it, is context. So the context being, I'm a senior engineer on the team, meeting, so it's new to the company. These things we said were important, like kind of like names, like, oh, so when you see this name, this is my lead, or my manager kind of stuff. So the background context I find is really important, or like I want to apply concepts from the book Multipliers, or even better, a specific concept from Multipliers. So in my mind, what I want to do is quickly set those contexts and like save those to say like, okay, I'm going to shift gears, like there's like 10 common modes that I'm in, and I'll be able to shift through those. And then the input is, and that's kind of like, okay, this existing plugin, that's really good. Let me highlight something. That's the input I want to operate on, like, given the background context. So generate. And then the instructions, I think that is where, I guess I see them as separate. Like instructions are like, okay, the context, what I'm working with, this is what I want to do with it. Tell me 5 ideas, which I might not think of as I approach leading this project, or that type of thing. And yeah, this was kind of just manually plugging this stuff in here. Like, this is what I actually got at OpenAI, just for manually constructing that prompt. Let's see here, is this, who knows what we're going to find in here. The last thing that I want to show, because I just talked about it, holding tank. So this is showing, I guess we're getting to more career, like tactical stuff, I guess, which is fine. This idea comes from the book Multipliers, which I found to be a really good read. being shared around a lot internally. And I guess I could. I guess I didn't need to split screen that whole time. But like, there's a few ideas in here, like prioritizing for impact. That's from the effective engineer. This to me, and it's kind of a fuzzy thing, but maybe this is apparent. I can be all over the place, have a lot of ideas, excitement, and I think that's a great thing, right? But it turns out, and this is a concept from the book Accidental Diminishers, that can sometimes have a negative effect. Now it's really overwhelming, like, oh my God, what idea is on now? Kind of thing. So to kind of pause and reframe, put that into like a holding tank, let it age a bit, let it bake, then revisit it. Am I still excited about it? Is it still something I think is like a must-have kind of thing? Okay, yes, put into action. No, keep the idea, but kind of commit to not acting on it, which I think is the challenge, for me sometimes. And then also kind of introducing the idea of like measuring. Okay, you acted on it. Was it impactful? Yes. Okay. Either way, like document and like share that kind of thing. And then, tying to like career growth framework, I guess to say, that's what I'll say. Yeah, we can go a lot of different directions here. So I'll stop there for
Put it in the holding tank, man.
yeah. Yeah, let's see. Okay. I think we covered all of the topics here. Yeah.
Very
So,
cool. So wait, do you pay for Obsidian and those plugins or anything?
I do pay for, so Obsidian is free. Everything you're seeing here, you can do 100% free. Except for the OpenAI stuff, which is super cheap. I mean, I'll say, if you don't have a paid OpenAI account, like I would just get one. And I feel like I use it pretty heavily. Like I'll do big generations. I'll dump in entire blog posts, internal stuff that I've written. Give me a summary. Like what else? Like what can I think of? And I feel like on a heavy usage, I maybe get like $3 per month. Just for like personal stuff. Then you get into more like the programmatic stuff, which is really cool too. A brief detour just to give a plug for Script Kit, which is really good. I don't think I can go into it yet, but I did write a little script here, and let's see if this opens up. Just to show like the ease of automation on stuff. If you look up Script Kit, and Zoom is back in my way. There we go. Okay, this is really cool stuff. Related. It makes it so easy to write little scripts. Like I'm going to show you right now. This is the entire script. I was able to look in their community stuff and I kind of customized it a bit. Like this is it. Now, given this, I can use, and let's see, just to make it more apparent, anywhere OS wide. I can select text, go here, say like, instructions, brainstorm 5 more ideas. It's a terrible prompt. But now this is hitting OpenAI, with my API key and everything. So that's what's really cool is there's a lot of paid products out there that are built on OpenAI that work really well. But especially as developers, the bar is so low to plug in directly and build something like, the bar is so low. Like if you did something totally custom, let's go back to Playground here and just load a preset. Okay, summarize the use case and trade-offs like RTC. Let's see what that says. Pick on your idea. It's just
What the video encoding.
it's just idea. And what I want to show this view code. Python or Node, whatever. This is all you need, and then you can customize. Like, you want to be able to customize which model you use or the prompts and things. So I've been able to build a few like little hack week projects, or just like the fun stuff like I showed with the Script Kit. Like the bar is really low, and I didn't realize. Like I saw like people doing stuff, building stuff, and I thought, I don't have time for that, But it's really like if you have an existing application Like, for example, Next.js, you have the API endpoints. And that's what I've done, just take this code to Node.js and keep your key on the server side on it. And you quickly stand up a little endpoint, but then you can custom, given some input, you could do some light prompt engineering, and now you have like a custom AI powered endpoint just right away. And you could have it like generate JSON, give a few samples of some specific JSON or something, or generating English text or whatever it is that you're trying to kind of productize. So yeah, now I'm kind of curious to hear. Maybe I'll stop sharing there. That'll help me. As long as I can't see myself on the screen. Yeah.
I'm curious if you have any insider knowledge from Zapier. They seem like a really well-positioned company to make AI get things done in the real world.
Oh, yeah.
Happen anything? Are you guys
Back to screen share?
working on anything?
Okay, let's say OpenAI and here. Oh. Let's see here. ChatGPT, OpenAI, there you go. There's a few articles, there's been some big announcements. Let's see, I should have that handy, but I don't. For answer, we have launched, it's been live for I don't know exactly how long. I mean, it sounds like a long time. It's been like a week or two since it's been live, this has all happened so fast. Yeah, so with Zapier, you can plug in anything, pipe it through OpenAI and then get any output. I mean, you can pipe any input into it through OpenAI to any other input back to OpenAI. So like one thing I do with that, which is kind of cutting through chaos, I can react to it, a bunch of stuff in Slack, like any message, and it will send it to what we call a digest. It's kind of like a big text concatenation. And then I have a Zap that summarize, like, oh, given this input that's from our team channel with some context, like summarize the key points for me that I might care about. And that has been able to condense like huge threads of stuff down to, we have, there's a lot of cool examples out there. We have to say, yes, that's live now. You could use it today. All you got to do is just plug in an OpenAI API key and you're plugged in. Cool. That was exciting too. Yeah, I was able to like test it before we launched it. That was a lot of fun. Like the AI, I bet that's how I feel really grateful. Especially with everything that's been going on with tech and stuff is like, it's been pretty exciting times that's happened here, and like I'm having like heavy exposure to this kind of stuff internally, and like support, encouragement to use it. So I'm like maximum hype. AI and stuff right now.